What's up, guys? So my computer is back and it's working and I'm happy. So Grand Theft Auto 5, it's been a few days now since they revealed new information, new screen captures, and the trailers, the character trailers, which I thought were awesome. The information that I'm going to be sharing today, I got it all from the website gta5.net. I'm not going to provide any screen captures or any of the trailers or anything like that, so you could go onto that website. I think they're pretty good at keeping all the information in one page, so it's easier to find, to see, and all that. They've got new screenshots, demo information, the new vehicles, the new previews, and the character trailers on there. So I'm just going to be talking about most of the game features, the new stuff that they talked about, or the new stuff that they revealed. If you're wondering why I'm not putting this on the video game Overload, the new series that I started, it's because the Overload I'm keeping just for games that I haven't talked about, games that you don't know anything about what I thought about. So I've talked about Grand Theft Auto 5 a few times. You guys know that I'm excited for it. I pre-ordered it like early this year. So yeah, that's nothing new for you guys. So if I put GTA 5 on the Overload, you would already know that, I'm buying it and that I'm excited about it and all that. So let's do this. First, when it comes to game features, I'm going to talk about the map. Not everything is completely new because I do remember reading this a little while back, but there are a lot of new stuff within the categories that they had already talked about. I already knew that it was 3.5 times bigger than that of Red Dead's map, but that's only overground. They're not including underwater. If they were to include it, it's 5 times larger of that of Red Dead. The different areas that you're going to be able to explore in are farmlands, mountains, again, underwater. And the thing with underwater is that they're doing it so that you could go treasure hunting, but you're not the only one looking for treasure. Like, other NPCs are also looking for treasure, so you've got to kind of like beat them to it. There are no signs as to where to go for the treasure, so they reward exploration when it comes to that, so they just like go and look for it. There are sharks. They say that there are different types of wildlife depending on where you are. Like in the mountains, I think in the trailers they spotted like mountain lions and something else, I forgot, but like different animals pertaining to California, of course. Other places are rivers, lakes, military bases, anything you see in Southern California, which is pretty diverse. Southern California is pretty diverse. A lot of people think that Southern California is just like, there's no nature out here, and there's like, I don't know, a lot of people have been surprised when they see so much green, where they're like, oh wow, there's so much green. There's like a diversity when it comes to the environment out here. There are full-on deserts, which I grew up in. There are forests, there's animals out here, there's like bears, there's wolves, there's coyotes. So yeah, there's a lot of different wildlife. There's no bears where I live, thank God. But there are bears, like not far from where I live. So in the mountains and stuff like that. So yeah, we're in for a wide diversity. There's rivers, ocean area, and all that. So this is going to be really interesting because of that diversity. Now for the combat. The combat has gone through some changes. Now we have a weapon wheel, which is kind of cool. I think I like that better. It kind of keeps you knowing what weapon you picked up and whether you lost the weapon or not, if you still have it or not. You can now run and gun, and there's better control over it. I remember that Grand Theft Auto didn't have the best fluidity when it comes to your character moving around. Like, your character would do this a lot, but it says that there's more fluidity this time. Different camera angles will help you see help your line of sight, like you could see better, like over the shoulder, like you could change camera angles. You have the combat role, which is becoming very popular in video games now, which is no surprise to me because it is useful at times. So from cover to cover, you now could roll. The cover system in Grand Theft Auto games were not good. At least I never liked them because you would have to like actually get out of cover and like run to another cover. So this whole roll sounds really cool. So that way you could pretty much stay in cover the whole time and not have to get out of cover and then get into cover. The targeting options are similar to that of Max Payne 3. So you have free aim, you have a soft lock and a hard lock. The whole wanted system returns from the previous Grand Theft Autos. I never really did it, like the whole get 6 stars and like get the freaking SWAT team on you and all that. I never did too much of that. I wasn't too big on that. So, but I did try it every now and then. It was pretty fun. I sucked at it though. But that returns, instead of 6 stars, you have 5 stars now. And one thing that I do like that they're doing, because this pissed me off so much, like this was one of the biggest turnoffs for this whole police encounters thing for the previous games, was that the cops always knew where you were. Like you could not hide within that wanted circle. Like until you got out of it, like that was it. But if you were still in that wanted circle, they knew exactly where you were, and that pissed me off. So now you can actually hide within the wanted circle, and I'm thinking of like Assassin's Creed. There's other games that you could do that, like where the enemies or the police have a line of sight. I am more tempted of trying this than of just like get out of the circle. The cops now have signals so that you could see if they're aware of you or not, of where you are. Of course, helicopters are gonna have more line of vision, so they will be able, you'll be in trouble if there's a helicopter around. But that sounds a lot more interesting to me. Customization, I'm always huge on customization. I love when you could customize your character. Like that is my thing. I don't know why, but I just love to be able to make my character look however I want. And of course you can't change the look of your character. I mean, the characters are set. You got Franklin, Michael, and Trevor. You could get tattoos, you could get haircuts, you could change your clothes. So that sounds really cool. I really like the whole haircut idea. I remember in The Witcher 2, I wasn't like, I mean, that's like the typical way that Geralt looks with his long hair, but I got it cut. Like I got the ponytail look where he's got the ponytail, but it's all shaved right here. I love that look, and that just made it so much more enjoyable for me. Like I was like, yeah, he looks so cool. I get excited for the tiniest things. I'm a sucker for details, and that's what this game seems like. Rockstar is huge on details, whether their gameplay suffers sometimes, like it's not so fluid. At least the previous games were kind of like, whatever, it's still awesome. The detail has always been amazing in their games. You could also customize your vehicle. You kind of could in like Grand Theft Auto 4, like paint jobs and stuff like that. But this time you could go like further. You could customize the color, wheels, window tints, grills, spoilers. You could change the performance, so you could upgrade the suspension, engine, brakes, and they say that this actually does change the way that the car feels for you. It could feel even smoother than it already did, or it could perform better. And then the weapon customizations like silencers, scopes, extended mags, laser sights, and a lot more. So that sounds pretty cool. Each character has a set of skills that is rated. So for example, one of them is stamina, another one is shooting, another one is strength, stealth, flying, driving, mechanic, and lung capacity. So they all have these skills, and they are all ranked at them depending on how many missions you do or specific things that you do, side missions or activities that will go up. They do say that Franklin will always be the best driver and Trevor will always be the best pilot, but you could still improve on their skills. So Franklin's special ability is that it says that he's an adrenaline junkie, so he could slow down time while he's driving. Trevor, it could go into a frenzy mode where he could do double damage, take half damage, and has a unique melee attack. And then Michael has his own version of bullet time, so like in Max Payne 3, that whole... Or in Red Dead Redemption, what was that called? Deadeye? Like where it all goes in slow motion and you're like... Obviously, the special skills are drained by a meter. You have a meter that will drain when you use this special skill, and it'll slowly recharge. You could plan heists. You could plan mini heists that will prepare you for bigger heists that are more important. Mini heists, you learn how to prepare like the getaway vehicle, also outfits, masks, all that good stuff. For the bigger heists, you can actually recruit crews, like a crew to help you. If you want to spend less money, you could get a less experienced crew, but you're taking a risk that the heist might not go well. If you want the heist to go better, then you hire an experienced crew, but you lose more money. So after each heist, you get this action report, I think they call it, where it tells you how much money you got and how much each of the surviving members of the crew gets, how much cut and all that, and how in your profit. The crew members have also have specializations like gunmen, wheelmen, and techs. If you hire the same crew again, their specialization skills will go up. Also, the crew will warn you through audio alerts and also visual alerts so that you're not caught off guard to whatever is going on. You could attack with stealth or brute force, and this will lead to a different outcome. Okay, so now for some general information, but first let me just explain a little bit about the characters for those of you that don't know what the hell's going on. So in Grand Theft Auto 5, you're going to be able to play 1 out of 3 characters in any specific time, so you will be playing all 3 characters at a specific time. Sometimes I think it might be set, like you have to play Trevor, like when it comes to the storyline, like to find out specific things of the characters. I think sometimes you have to do that. But when you're on missions, you could switch between characters. You could be Franklin, you could be Trevor, you could be Michael, whoever you want, depending on what skills you want to use at that point. So these are the characters. This is Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. I think with the story, in the trailers, Michael and Trevor, and I can't remember if Franklin, but they're talking about a shrink or talking to a psychiatrist. I think how they're doing it, how they're incorporating you learning about each character without you having to choose, because sometimes you might be like, I don't like Trevor, I don't want to play as Trevor, so you might even miss out on some storyline with Trevor. So I think they force you to play Trevor every now and then in the story, so you know a little bit about him. So maybe the way that they do that is they incorporate the psychiatrist or the shrink, and you go to them, the character goes to them, and then they start talking to them, and then you play their version or their piece of life that they're talking about. So you learn about each character. I think that's probably how they're doing it. But the point is that in missions, you get to play as all 3 characters depending on however you want to do it. So you could switch characters freely unless you're in wanted mode. If you're Michael and you're in wanted mode, you have to get out of that wanted mode before you switch to Trevor. You can't. They don't let you. So get out of the heat first, and then the character meter will let you know that you could switch it to a different character. Even in cutscenes, it says that you could freely change characters. While the cutscene's running, you could switch to being Trevor or Franklin instead of Michael. And it says that you could do it automatically or manually. I love that idea that they're giving you 3 characters to play. I think it could get kind of confusing maybe, and you might even grow to love one character more. I think that's probably what's going to happen to me, where I might grow to love one character more than the other characters, where I'm like, I don't want to play as Trevor, or I prefer to play as Michael. Michael seems like the type of character that I would get really attached to as a character, because I don't know, I like his story, even though I don't know that much about it. I feel like I'm gonna like Michael the most. Rockstar has always done a great job at character development. All their characters have always been really interesting to me. Not so much in LA Noire. I think that was just not great. It was a different Rockstar team, so I think that's probably why. So I think the characters aren't going to be an issue in this one. At least that's my hope. If you're Michael, for one instance, you're playing as Michael, Trevor and Franklin are going to be controlled by the AI. So it's not like they're just going to be sitting there. The AI is going to be controlling them. And again, you have the power of how much the AI controls them or you. But they will give dialogue, hints, or indications where it would probably be a good idea for you to switch characters. Where if you're Michael and you're getting, they said that if you were getting like bombarded by snipers or something like that, and you're stuck, Michael might call for Trevor's help, and that's a good time for you to switch to Trevor to go help Michael. It might get confusing because you're going to be jumping from character to character, but I think it's going to be really cool because they each have their specializations and all that. And you don't have to, like they said, like you don't have to. If Michael calls for Trevor's help, you could still stay as playing as Michael. Like Trevor, the AI, will probably come and help you, but they might take their sweet time or something because it's an AI. So if you want it to be more precise, then switch to Trevor. So yeah, they're leaving it up to you, but they do give little indications. The character selection is going to be a wheel that's split up into 4 triangles: Michael, Franklin, Trevor, and your multiplayer character. When you take a boat, some boats are actually going to have diving gear. It's going to be so cool. Like you could just go out in the ocean and then just put your gear on and like just take a dive and go look for some treasure. I didn't really understand this. It says that, now I might not understand this because I'm not a big multiplayer type of person, but it says that if you, by pressing down on the D-pad, you will drop the play in and out of multiplayer. I was like, wait, you could be playing single player and then multiplayer if you push the down button on the D-pad. I don't know. This might be something that Rockstar has done in the past in their games, but I was like, what? It's like new to me because I don't know this stuff. But that sounds convenient for somebody that does play multiplayer, I guess. There are subtle differences in the way that the characters move depending on their personality. It says that Michael is more precise in things that he does, more deliberate, like he's slower. Because he looks, I mean, you could tell, like, just by seeing his trailer. I recommend you guys go see each of the characters' trailers. This will be a lot easier to understand if you know what I'm talking about when it comes to their personalities, because they do have very different personalities you could see in the trailers, which is going to make this even more interesting just because you're getting these different personalities and you're just putting them together, and that's going to be so fun. It says that there's a crazy level of detail, which is super exciting to me. They gave an example that you could jump on a tour bus and just like tour around and seeing like celebrity homes and stuff. I'm like, oh my god. And like everything is like, there could be references to like other things like billboards and like signs and posters and that kind of thing. So there's going to be a lot of detail. If you die, it's not like, oh, okay, Michael died, I could be Trevor now, continue with the mission. No, if you die, you have to start the checkpoint again. You could buy property to get extra revenue. You could buy houses, garages, and marinas. You could pick up hitchhikers, do stunt jumps and flying challenges. And you could do yoga, golf, tennis. You could do bike races and triathlons. Oh my god. Dude, I'm so gonna do all these things. The phone in this one is called the iFruit. Has apps, a camera, internet, contacts, social media, a calendar, and the replay missions button. And there's 3 more that Rockstar hasn't revealed yet. Liquor store and ATM robberies are possible. And the citizens, or the pedestrians, people around you, if they see you robbing someone or something, they could alert the cops, or they could film you, or they could attack you. You could hunt animals. I think they're going to do it like Red Dead Redemption. Franklin alone has more textures than the entire pedestrian population of San Andreas. Oh, what? You know, that's one thing that Rockstar has always been really good at. Like the further they go in their games, the better they get, is their textures, their facial textures and the animations, oh my god. Like in Red Dead Redemption, I remember, and Max Payne, but like Red Dead Redemption was the one that stood out the most for me because I mean I just love everything about Red Dead Redemption. And LA Noire, their facial animations are amazing. Like the expressions that the characters do, they're like, I would get mesmerized by just looking at every facial expression that John Marston would do, or like characters in Red Dead Redemption, where you were like, they didn't have to do that. Like where you're just like, the animator didn't have to take the time to make John Marston, like, I don't know, like bite his lip or something, or where it's like it really had nothing to do with his body language in that moment, but it was just like a tick, or like a thing that he does, like things that people do they don't even know why. They would add that, and it would blow my mind. Like I seriously would sit there like just watching what he would do, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Again, these things really, really surprised me. So that excited me because that means that they're just advancing with that what I'm talking about, those textures that they add to add more animation and stuff like that. And also, this game has the largest selection of vehicles and weapons of any Grand Theft Auto game. So they're just taking Grand Theft Auto up a notch, a few notches, making things more fluid, and adding just so much more to the exploration that was already there. Because I think Grand Theft Auto was more known for driving around and hitting people with your car, or jumping off jumps and stuff like that, or killing people just because, to get more stars with the wanted level. But now they're adding more things that you could do. You could rob a liquor now. And a lot of people have so many bad things to say about Grand Theft Auto. A lot of people. But in all honesty, this is a mature game. You could just mess around, and it's like, there's no maturity there. There's just messing around and doing stupid things. Not so much like Saints Row. Saints Row just took it to the next level. But it is on a mature level when it comes to its rating. So kids really shouldn't be playing this game. So people shouldn't be arguing that, oh, this is like bad games for kids. Yeah, it is, so don't let them play it, because they're really not supposed to, unless you buy it for them. So a lot of things are returning in this game, but a lot of things are new. Like they're adding little things, like playing tennis, doing yoga. That sounds awesome. And then the whole underwater exploration thing. They're just giving you more freedom, which sounds awesome. And you could do it as different characters. So that's even more awesome for me, because I'm like, ah! Could you imagine how much you could experience this game given the 3 characters? Like, everything is going to be different for that character. So depending on who you are is how you're going to experience the world. So that's just mind-boggling to me when I think about the possibilities of this game. This game is definitely on my most anticipated game of 2013, so I can't wait to play it. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you guys later.